Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. For tonight's game chat, we're just gonna be chatting. The focus of tonight is taking a look at 2025 and some of Nintendo's biggest moments, and it was a huge year for Nintendo. Before we get into this, remember these streams are powered by Elgato and 64josh.com/slash Elgato to check out all of their gear. Make sure to use code N64Josh at checkout. If you want to get footage like you're seeing right now, you're going to need a capture card for that. Elgato has got you covered, whether you're going with the Neo because you're just starting out, or you want to upgrade to one of their 4K cards. They got all kinds of options, so make sure to check it out. Again, n64josh.com/slash Elgato. Well, this is going to be kind of a fun chat looking back at the year, and I pulled up a list because it's been a year. It has been a year. There has been a lot that has been released, and I feel like it's been a year for me that I actually did more than just talk about games. I completed a bunch of games. I'm actually putting together a list that we're gonna talk about on a future episode because I I this may be the I feel like I beat a lot of games this year. I tackled a lot of the backlog. I was all the way back into my 2DS, and Metroid was a huge theme for this year. I rebeat Dread. I beat Samus Returns on 3DS, and I'm just about done with Prime Remastered, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through Prime 4. Just guessing, maybe 3/4. So I'm like, it's been a super fun year for Nintendo fans, that is for sure. Nady Nay says it's the year of the ninja is what got me playing. Yo, I'm hopeful Ninja Gaiden 4 comes to Switch, and, uh, if not, I have it downloaded. Have it downloaded on Xbox, and I will play it soon. And, still I I made it past another boss in Ragebound, so progress is being made. Progress is being made, but yeah, you're the ninja for sure. I need to get Shinobi next. Brandon is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. IRY says Donkey Kong Bonanza is their biggest, without a doubt. It was huge, huge. Absolutely adore that game. In fact, I almost went with my Donkey Kong footage over my Metroid footage, but I was like, I'm gonna throw Metroid's fresh right now, so we'll throw Metroid on for the B-roll. Let's see. The Argonaut, I believe, says I'm 2 hours into Prime 4 and loving it. Let's go. I've been having a really good time with Prime 4. Like, I have a list of things that I would love to see them do in future games, but I don't, it feels very much like a Prime game. Like, I wish they had taken a few more risks, and there's a few things that I wish it had, but it's still sitting at an 8.5 or a 9 for me. I'm having a great time, and some of the boss fights I've thoroughly enjoyed. Some are a little easier than others, and uh but for the most part, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. So, Brandon says, "Man, this year has been epic. DK, Hyrule Warriors, Metroid Prime 4, and so much more." Well, let's take it all the way back to the beginning. You guys ready? Donkey Kong Country Returns came out January 16th. Seems like a lifetime ago. Doesn't even seem like this year. I'm just going off of this is a list from Nintendo that came out in January and goes through March. They've got, Ender Magnolia, which isn't one that I played. Guilty Gear Strive, not one that I played, but that came out in January 23rd, a fighting game. Hello Kitty Island Adventure, I know was pretty popular. Sid Meier's Civilization. came out February 6th. Tomb Raider Remastered, February 14th. Here's a big one. Here is a big one. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, uh, was March 20th. Tales of the Shire, which I don't think anybody would be talking about. Fantasy Life, Rune Factory. You got Pokemon. They got Pokemon Legends Z A and Metroid Prime on here, just as you know, as TBD or whatever to be announced. And they have the Capcom Fighting Collection #2 and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. And so let's see. I clicked. Yeah, it's too far into the future now. We're all the way into 2026. But I am just curious. I'm looking. I don't see. You know what I don't see on this list, and I'm a I'm 2 pages in already, and I still don't see it. 3 pages in. There's no there's no Borderlands. Still no Borderlands. So Jo Joey says, "Best year in gaming for me. April, I started Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom. Then June got Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. A month later, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now late November, December, playing Metroid Prime 4 and Animal Crossing. Love it. Absolutely love it." Joey also said DK over Metroid for B-roll anytime, of course. Nadine said Prime 4 is better than Prime 1 for me. None of the maze type stuff. I appreciate the in your face stuff that made me not like Prime 1. So here's like I like, I'm ready to not scan anything else, I can tell you that much. I feel like the scanning is I appreciate the way they're doing it, that everything turns green, but, like, I'm just like, "Yo, I'm scanned out." Like, we can chill with the scanning on the next game. Like, I know it's a thing, but there's just so much of it, it seems like. Uh, Argonaut says, "I'm feeling like a 9.5 for me at the moment." Love that. Cryptic, what's going on? Welcome on in. Uh, let's see. Cryptic says, "Still waiting for that Switch 2 upgrade to finish Xenoblade X." A game that did get an upgrade today, Skyrim, still not running at 60 frames, which is just crazy. Still not at 60 FPS. So I don't know what's up with that. So, uh, Brandon says, "Yeah, I agree. Prime 4 is amazing. I tried replaying Prime Remastered, played GameCube one back in the day, was having a hard time with Prime 1. Prime 4 has me hooked." Interesting. Interesting. Wonder if you can, elaborate a little bit, Brandon, on what your is there certain gameplay mechanics? Is it the maze stuff that Nate was talking about? Like, let me know. I'm very, very curious. Let's see. Midfight Senpai says, "Glad you guys are enjoying Halo 7." Here we go. Here we go. Um, let's see. Nate says, "I stop scanning if I replay in hard mode. I'll scan. Uh, I'll scan too much. I got you. You just downloaded the Skyrim pack. No 60 is crazy, but it does feel better and loads a ton faster. I love that. I love that. Y'all hating on Prime 1 like it stole your chicken wings. Hey, you're not hearing any complaints from me about Prime 1. Like I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time going back. Oh, Nate says it sucks. Nate says it sucks. So my my goal before the end of the year is to have Prime 4 beat, Remastered beat, Age of Imprisonment beat, and Metroid Fusion. That's my goal before the end of the year. Um this is a lofty goal for me. So we'll just have to see if it's doable or not. But we're putting some work in. But it's just been a good year for gaming. And I'm curious, do you feel like you've spent more time gaming? Like it's just been uh just fun? I'm just curious. I feel like it has been a year where I've like if I'll just go off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm putting a list together, but off the top of my head, games that I beat. Are you guys ready? I think you're gonna be surprised. And Midfight Senpai is a big reason for like the thoughts behind this show, just kind of looking back, and then another upcoming show of just the games that I completed. But like I mentioned, uh Samus Returns on my 2DS XL, Dread again for a second time, Tears of the Kingdom, I went back and completed. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which was fantastic. I literally just remember that as we're sitting here. Uh, and you guys can help me out here too. Donkey Kong Bonanza, rolled credits on Mario Kart. So that's 6 right there. I know there's more. Like I was gonna have my Switch open actually, so I could take a peek. Um, just because I knew I wouldn't remember all of these off the top of my head. So uh what it's come on, it's taking a minute to load up. But I feel like I've done Pokemon Legends ZA is another one. And okay, I'm going to my list here. Let's see. Haven't rolled credits on Air Riders yet. I still would like to do that. Kirby in the Forgotten Land and the Star-Crossed World. Played all the way through that, completed that. Um, I feel like I'm making good progress on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I feel like I made decent progress on Silk Song, but I still want to do more there. A game that I went back to thanks to stream was Towerfall. Had a really good time with that. I've attempted uh more Fire Emblem, but I'm really just stuck. I need to do it on stream and have you guys backseat a little bit and help me out. So, um, let's see, making my way down through through the list here. I was trying to throw in. I'm like, can I? Is there any games I can throw in like Echoes of Wisdom? No, that was 2024, so it doesn't count. But I think I'm sitting at like 8 or 9 games, and um, it that's not something I usually say. That is not that isn't that that's not something I would usually say. So I, I'm excited about that. Like it's been fun. There's been a ton of playing a ton of Mario Kart. I still play Smash on the regular. I feel like I've had a good amount of time actually playing games. I've been playing out like in the living room, playing handheld, playing at my setup. Like there's been a ton of Fortnite introduced Jasmine to Fortnite. I think she might have just turned on her Switch to start playing it right now. I'm not entirely sure, but so that's been fun. But I feel like even diving back into older games and doing interviews like in Mario Golf and stuff like that has just been has just been a ton of fun. Just a ton of fun. So I uh I'm just grateful. Looking back on this year, it's just been a ton of fun. I feel like the community has grown a ton. It's been so much fun getting to hang out with you guys, doing so many more shows, and just really getting to just hang out and talk games on the regular. So, grabbing a few more chats here. Cryptic said, "Yeah, it's been a great year in gaming." Brandon says, "I played so much more this year than I have in a while." I love that. Brandon also said, "Prime One Remaster just had me feeling lost and confused a ton. Unfortunately, I think I'd have kept going, but I don't know. It just didn't hook me, unfortunately, like I remember it did on GameCube." You know what, Brandon? I will say this: I picked it up, I put it down, I picked it up, I put it down, I picked it up, and then it finally started to click. Like as soon as I got a handful of power ups, I was like, "Oh, I'm good now. Like I'm good." But it's a bit of a slow. Like, it was a slow start going back to it, you know? So, Nadine Nay said, "It's been a good year for games. I wouldn't say for gaming." Interesting. I like that's interesting. Um, Midfi Senpai said, "That's like 4 more games than you usually play per year. Never going to happen." Here we go, calling me out. I'm trying. I'm trying. Like, I'm really, really putting in the effort, you know? And there's I've got some big games I wanna tackle. Like, I didn't complete Xenoblade Chronicles X after Definitive Edition, but, like, so much fun with that one. Like, really, really enjoying it, but it's with, with with the potential of it, um, coming to, or getting an upgrade for Switch 2, I just wanna hold off and play it at its best, and I'm hoping that's gonna be the case. I'm really hoping that 2026 is kind of the like, potentially the year of Monolith Soft, and we see upgrades for all of their past Switch 1 games, as well as a release the announcement of something new. I would be I'd be really, really stoked. So, uh Nate, I've just been blocking. I think they're the same, like, it's just the same strange person that, like, asks the same silly questions over and over again. I finally just blocked him from the channel, so we won't have to deal with it anymore. Uh, Cryptic says it does help when a new console launches that, you wanna find a reason to play it. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Like, that's it's so true. And I mean, there's so much that I love. Like, I absolutely adore Mario Kart World, right? Like, I just love I was practicing time trials today. Speaking of guys, pipe trials this week, if you guys wanna jump in, uh, it is, Choco Mountain, which is I would say it's a pretty decent, like, beginner, uh, pipe trial course. So, the opening, like, the very first turn, like, as soon as you start the track, there's, uh there's a hop that you have to do that will allow you to basically non-item shortcut the first section of mud or chocolate. I haven't been able to get it. I've been trying and trying and trying, but I have been struggling, unfortunately, and not been able to, get that yet. But it's just a fun it's just a f it's fun for me to jump in and play on the regular. Smash, I'm still playing on the regular, trying to get Mario into Elite, right? I have a handful of my own challenges that I'm constantly working on, which is super fun. And, even doing the game of the week, the NSO game of the week, and, playing a little bit of Battletoads and playing Metroid Fusion, and I'm still going on Metroid Fusion and diving into some of these older games, and, yeah, and even, Cryptic's bringing up, also Madden on Switch was one of my most favorite games of the year just because it lived up to, playing a good quality sports game on the go. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Also, Cryptic also mentions, uh, I bought Star Wars Outlaws on Switch and the PC, and the cross save, is just such a cool feature. That yeah, if I had played it elsewhere, that would have been I would completely agree. I did pick it up. I've not even I was like, "Hey, it's on sale right now, so I'm gonna snag it real quick." But I just have not had the time to, to spend the time with it. But what I played at PAX, I really, really liked. I thought it was great. I mean, I feel like there's so many games right now, like, to even just go with all the launch titles on Switch, like, I put in a little bit of time with Street Fighter 6, but it's fantastic on the Switch. Cyberpunk seems like something that, like, if, like, I could just lose myself in, and the fact that you can play it on the go is crazy. I didn't pick up FC 26 yet, but that was amazing when I played it at PAX. Like, that was fantastic. Like, Tony Hawk, like, it felt like the year one of the things about this year is it felt like going back to the GameCube days, like, playing Tony Hawk, playing Metroid Prime, like it those are GameCube days for me, and I loved it. I loved it. I spent more time. I put more work in on Sunshine, and was still trying to complete that one. It's one of the only 3D Mario I think that I've never completed. I think it's the only Mario game like mainline 2D or 3D that I haven't beat. Every other one I've completed. So uh taking a look at the chat here, Midfly says, I'm hoping that Nintendo front loading their big IP early in the life cycle so that they can use the huge influx of cash to fund a ton of smaller, experimental IP going forward. That'd be great. That'd be great. I have a feeling with like Splatoon as well, like the Splatoon Raiders. It's going to be a different experience, more single player focused, and and not worrying about like the competitive side of things, the PvP stuff. Just playing a story driven Splatoon game. I think that's gonna be pretty fun. And I mean, look what look. I don't. I I pre-ordered the Virtual Boy today, you guys. Like that came out and for pre-order, and so I I pre-ordered the Virtual Boy. That's that's them doing some crazy stuff, right? Like some crazy stuff, and so in the name of like preservation and also just getting a lot of their old IP, like any of the old IP that's been sitting dormant, I hope this is the generation that we get to see a lot of it, resurrected. I think it would be amazing. So, Joey says the only thing I was hoping for or wishing for NSO was Diddy Kong Racing or DK64 or even Smash N64 or Smash Melee. Yes. Yeah. I would say one of the lower points for the Switch 2 right now is just the lack of GameCube games on NSO. Like, I saw a tweet today that was like, "How is this why do we only have this this many games?" Like, it seems like it could have launched with so much more. I mean, I get that there's, some benefit to drip feeding stuff. Is anybody gonna jump in and play those games when there's a brand new system and you have all these other brand new games to play? Maybe that's part of their strategy. They're like, "Yo, we don't wanna put too many games on this thing. Nobody'll be buying anything. They'll just be signing up for NSO and playing these classics." I don't know that it would entirely be the case, but we it is a it does seem like the library is pretty thin at the moment. So, let's let's see. Um, Joey said, "Honestly, when was our last Nintendo Direct? So when can we expect the next Direct?" I would say there's a pretty good chance that we're gonna see something February, would be my gut feeling. We have seen pretty much 0 marketing-wise from, uh for Mario Tennis, the next Mario Tennis game. Like, they've not really talked about that game at all, and, since the Direct, which I find a bit strange, that there's been, like, no chatter about that one, but again, they're focused. They're very laser focused on on what's coming out this year. It's been, they tweeted about Mario Kart again today, and I have a feeling there's gonna be ton a ton of Switch 2s under the Christmas trees for this holiday. A lot of people jumping into Mario Kart. Like, it would be awesome to see the servers get bogged down because so many people are jumping in. So, it they're yeah, they're very, like, they're finishing strong. They want this year to finish strong. You got Metroid Prime 4 to market. You've got Age of Imprisonment. You've got the DLC for Pokemon outright. Like right now, people are playing it. I mean, it it feels a bit overwhelming, honestly, with um with 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 how much is out. I just saw Nate say, "Oh god, I hate you, Josh, for pre-ordering Virtual Boy." I'll be completely real. I don't even know if I'll take it out of the box. It'll probably get displayed behind me. I'll probably end up getting the cardboard one just so that I can experience and play some of it is kind of what I'm thinking. It was more just to have in the I've always wanted a Virtual Boy in the collection anyway. And so this is a lower cost of entry. So to have it. So I know, guilty. Guilty. My bad. My bad. Cryptic says it felt like I wasn't missing out and didn't have to buy another console to experience games. Very much the case. Yeah. Um uh, Joey says agree cryptic. I'm a one console household, so being able to play many non-Nintendo games is an amazing plus. I love that. Love that. Cryptic says also it's not Nintendo, but I got that nostalgia bug when I got to play a remastered Gears and Oblivion, classic all timers for me. Absolutely. Yeah. And yo, I hope the day comes that we get to rev those chainsaws on the Switch, and jump back into Oblivion. I think it would be great. I think it would be fantastic. Brandon says I need to get Madden still, and I need to pop on NSO more. I want that Virtual Boy, even if it sits on my shelf mostly. Yo, Brandon, uh, Wednesday nights we chat about the NSO game of the week. If you wanna hang out and get into the backlog, even if you're not completing stuff. I'm not completing most of these games, but I'm spending a little bit of time with them, and it's really fun going back. So last week, you guys, I busted out the NES controller and I was in Discord after the show playing Battletoads. I woke up the next morning with Nintendo thumb. If you know, you know, but this D-pad is notorious for just destroying your thumb. And and I was just kind of laughing. I'm like, yo, that is like the most Nintendo kid thing ever, right? Like to get Nintendo thumb from the old controller. I was just cracking up about it, honestly. Um, let's see. Oh, Joey Pitts says I'm pre-ordering Virtual Boy, as if it's gonna sell out, right? Cryptic says I also want to shout out GameCube on NSO. Although I think the catalog is slow on release, there is quality games and a wireless controller. Yeah, it's pretty rad, honestly. And uh, I think even as we're talking about it, I would love to have a a cool way to display all 4 of the NSO controllers. And, I mean, there's 5, I know, Sega Genesis, right? Don't wanna forget that. I don't have that one yet. I do wanna get at least 1 for the collection because 'cause I've got quite a bit of nostalgia for that system, and it would be fun to play those games with that controller. So, maybe it'll be a pickup for next year. Joey says, "Yeah, if they add Smash Melee to GameCube NSO, would take sales away from, Metroid Prime 4, absolutely. Yeah, no question." Nadine Nay says, "Next year worries me. Tennis, that Coco Melon, Animal Crossing, Tamagotchi." Pokopia? So, Nate, let's address that real quick, okay? Let's talk about it. So, Pokopia, Animal Crossing, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Switch 2 edition plus meetup in Bella Bell Park. What in the Elden Ring, Tomodachi Life, Duskbloods, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Professor Layton in the New World of Steam, Splatoon Raiders, Terminator 2D No Fate, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Mario Tennis, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, Pokemon Champions, Mech Arena Shooter Battle. I don't even know what this is. It's like a $10 game. They've got a handful of like the potential shovelware on here. Hall of Warfare FPS modern shooter. Like what? Get out of here with that nonsense. What even is that? There is a ton of like smaller titles. But then you get into the Virtual Boy, you get into Resident Evil Requiem, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, Double O Seven First Light, Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, Resident Evil The Village Gold Edition, Rhythm Paradise Groove. Tombi 2, The Evil Swine Return Special Edition, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, Yakuza, Kiwami 3, and Dark Ties. And Cast and Chill looks like a fishing game for Switch 2. So funny. And I mean, the list goes on and on. There's 5 pages here, but again, some of them are going to be maybe potential shovelware. But I feel like it's a strong. I feel like it's a strong start. Nate, wait till you see the video I'm about to. I recorded before the show. I'll have it edited out up in the morning. You're gonna love it. You are gonna love it. Nate says so far nothing interests me, but there's still tons of time. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I like. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo's kind of doing this thing where they're hitting like a mainline and then sprinkling less mainline games in with it. I feel like for this year, although sales may disagree with where I'm standing, but Mario Kart World, obviously, like probably the biggest game of the year for Nintendo. As far like for the Switch 2 anyway. Who knows? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still may have outsold it this year just because of how that game sells. But I feel like Donkey Kong's mainline, like top tier, and then Pokemon. And then you sprinkle in like Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, Age of Imprisonment is like it's Zelda, but it's a, a Warriors game. You know what I'm saying? So if we keep having a good mix, as like we're seeing now, plus when like I think third party support's only going to get bigger and bigger. Like I think it's going to be potentially just a huge year. So I'm very very hopeful, and hopefully we get more ninja games for you since I know you're super stoked about it. So let's see here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Joey with the $2 super chat said, "What would make gaming in 2026 a 10 out of 10?" Great question. Great question. So if you guys want to answer this as well, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Tommy says, "I too just pre-ordered the Virtual Boy because of you. You deserve a percentage of these purchases." I'll make sure to send that message over to Nintendo. I love it. I love it. Cryptic says, "Also, Josh, I really dislike you for making us play Battletoads. I can't get past the jet skis." Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Again, Nate is like, "No more Virtual Boy. No more Virtual Boy." Um, Joey says, "Honestly, in 2026 brings back either Star Fox or Earthbound, it would make it a 10 out of 10 for me. Heck, Earthbound would make it a 100 out of 10. Love that." Cryptic says, "You mentioned the Virtual Boy again. That's the most I've heard that name in the last 100 years, and it hasn't been out that long, right?" Yeah, no question, no question. And I mean, it is silly, but like I remember all the marketing for this thing. I remember it like hoping to get a chance to play it, and then it was gone before that happened. And I've since seen a handful of cartridges here and there in retro shops or maybe the system. And like it is something I've always wanted to play. I don't like who knows? It may be the perfect system for challenges. Like we hit 100 members on YouTube and I have to beat a Virtual Boy game and like we won't be able to show gameplay, but it'll just be me staring into the viewfinder getting a migraine, Like it it could be great. It could be great. You guys wouldn't even know if I'm actually playing or not. Um Nate, I think it's a completely valid point. Why not just sell Virtual Boy minis instead of a gatekeepy version That's what makes me not a fan. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I I I still don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's a it ultimately, like, these games probably could have run without the machine, but the machine is extra money, and it is you know, the official way to play it, if you will. But I don't know. I think if they had just gone that route and not put the plastic out, then then they maybe not they may not have sold much of that plastic. But I also don't know if they, like, truly understand their fan base, you know, because I would have picked one up, but I would have played it on screen like a normal game. And I think that's how a lot, like, I'm sure if you're listening to this show, the probably 3/4 of you, maybe 2/3, probably would do the same thing just to have it in the collection. So like, only one eye works with it. Midfi says, "Yeah. Yep, yep." Yeah, and Brandon says, "Yeah, there is there Nintendo in 2026 is trying to sell cardboard again." Like, uh, cardboard from a virtual boy to literal peasant. I love it. Okay. I wanna backtrack a little bit here. Um, Cryptic says Mario Kart DLC 2026. Let's go. I can't wait. Pokemon Gen 10, I expect. I would say so. Zelda 2D game, I expect. I mean, we got the 40th anniversary next year. I think it's gonna be a big year for Zelda. I really do. Uh, Joey says, "Give me Echoes of Wisdom, 2." That game was dope. Love it. Cryptic says, "GTA 6 is good enough for 2026 Switch, or it's not going to take over uh, the uh, the conversation worldwide outside of gaming um and inside." So that's all you need. It's I got you. All you need is GTA 6, good enough for 2026. Complete. I get you. Yeah. Joey says GTA 6 is just a glorified Mario Kart World with running and guns. Here we go. Here we go. The Argonaut says, "How are you feeling about the potential of Switch 2 game share, letting four people join in a game when only one person owns the game?" I mean, that was a huge feature on the DS. Like, I can remember a time where uh I think we had, 7 DSs, and we I had, one copy of Mario Kart DS. I probably had more, but, like, that allowed that allowed everybody that was there, and my parents were racing. My dad was driving backwards. My kids were just cracking up. They thought it was the funniest thing ever that grandpa wasn't driving the right way, and we were at their cabin in the woods. Like, it was a really special time of just, like connecting through gaming, uh, with 3 generations, and it was great. I'll never forget that, and so I think the more that game share is available and out there, I think it's great. I think it's great so that more people can make memories just like that one. That, and it's also, when it comes to saving a little bit of cash, like, I can play co-op on, Age of Imprisonment right now without having to buy a second copy of the game. And so that's huge, I think. I think it's I think it's very big. Cryptic says, "I think it's also important to bring up that more devs are getting hands on Switch 2, and that means more optimizations in 2026, 2027, and knowing how to implement DLSS." Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So, and we already see it with Skyrim. Yep. Yeah, for sure. I wanna wrap up here. We've been going about 40 minutes or so. This is a little bit off topic, but if you guys are in the market for if you're thinking about going, like, with an OLED or an OLED monitor, I've been like it felt like I used to have a good handle on this kind of stuff, and then I felt like it all got away from me. Uh, the way to go as of right now is to go with a television set. If you're mainly playing on with your Switch 2, get a get an OLED, uh, TV versus a monitor because I assume it's a software of some kind, maybe it's hardware, I'm not quite sure, but it's called HGIG or HGIG, I'm not quite sure what it stands for yet, I'm not all that up on it, but it's not available on monitors because if you're hooking your PC up, it does all that stuff, and then the monitor just works, but if you're hooking up a Switch, then it doesn't have so my HDR looks way better on my TV, and I have to spend way more time fine tuning it. So, just something to keep in mind if you were like, wanting to get like a gaming monitor, but you're only going to be playing Switch. I would say do a lot of research, but you may want to end up going with like a 42-inch. I know it's not as small as a 27-inch monitor. If that's what you were wanting, that's what I mainly play on. And if HDR is not that big a deal for you, and seeing you know like, I completely get it, but if you want the most bang for your buck, I would suggest getting a TV, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, like, I was, like, doing more research even today, like, I can't get my OLED monitor to look as good as my TV, and it's because of the HGIG, so, just wanted to share that with you guys if anybody's in the market. Um, taking a look at a couple more chats here, uh Oh, I love that. The Argonaut says, "To me, they are using GameShare to recreate a modern version of the N64, a party machine." Yes. Yes, absolutely. I would agree. Joey says, "Do you think we see themes for Switch 2 more than light or dark?" No, I don't know. I don't know. I would love it. I think it'd be great, but I'm not sure if it's a huge priority. So Midfight Senpai says, I think more optimization may come from the soaring RAM prices. The Switch may see more games come to it because devs may be forced to optimize games due to no one being able to afford the upgrade. Yo, I'm not even kidding you. I was, I was, I was, uh, I was on Reddit today, and I was in like a PC subreddit, and they were posting pictures of the PC you can get at Costco, and it's like 1,400 bucks, and everybody was like, "Yo, you get RAM and the rest of the parts free at that price." So, yeah, RAM prices are just crazy right now. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, it was comment after comment of like, "Yo, they're throwing in the rest of the PC once you buy the RAM. That's crazy." And so that's a great point though, that we might, be seeing more and more games come to Switch, and potentially being better optimized. And hopefully as time goes on, like I'm curious about the see, I don't have the version of Skyrim that gets the upgrade. I don't believe, or I have to spend $20 to get the upgrade, something like that, because I don't have the anniversary edition. I have the OG, and it's in storage anyway. So um but I'm curious how it's gonna run. We see Assassin's Creed is needing another update, right? Star Wars Outlaws continued to get updates. It started to look a lot better. Cyberpunk, looks incredible. So I think it's got the horsepower, just as long as the devs understand how to get it optimized, And it's I mean, I I'm wondering, I don't know if we see, Helldivers made its way over to Xbox. Another studio was given opportunity to, like, compress that game. They took that game from, like, 150 gigs down to, like, 23 or something, and my first thought was like, "Well, that could potentially run on the Switch too at that point." Like, not that it not that it wouldn't have ran, but it just like to see it not take up nearly the space. And I don't know if those are the exact numbers, so don't quote me on it, but it was the compression was significant. So Cryptic says, "You don't think Nintendo will patch HDR eventually to work better?" It may. It may. I'm just from all of the conversations I was reading, in the different, like, Reddit posts and whatnot, is that it again, you can dial it in on a TV. Like, my TV looks insane with the HDR and everything. My monitor looks crazy good too, especially with Prime 4. With Prime 4, I literally turned it on and was like, this is like seeing an entirely different game, but it's not. There's it's almost a bit warm and whatnot, and because it doesn't match my TV out there, which I'm set for, I don't want to continually. They need to. They almost need to give you like a way to save your HDR settings depending on which if you're bouncing between um like monitors and TVs, but I mean, that's, probably not a ton of people are doing that, so it's not gonna be a priority for them, but if they made the HDR, adjustments even better, that could help also, 'cause I literally had to count how many clicks of the stick I was doing to get the right nits or whatever it is, so, yeah, it was kinda crazy, honestly. So, um, Nate said here we go. Here we go. Honestly, 2025 was amazing because we proved last night that Super Mario 3 is the inferior Mario game. Oh my goodness. Nate said I had a bunch of weird degenerates voting for Mario World because people that like the challenge and fun games picked Mario 3. Here we go. Here we go. According to Phil Spencer, your Switch 2 is an Xbox. This is true. Nate says Indiana Jones coming to Switch next year. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Joey says fun and Mario 3 not in the same sentence, only with is not. That's so crazy. So crazy. Joey Pitts says I play Skyrim on the regular here and it used to crash periodically on Switch 1 and has not crashed on Switch 2 now. Just saying. That's great. That's great. Nady Nasa Joey has not played Mario 3. I'm cracking up. Uh Midvice said by reviews have said that the Switch OLED versus the Switch 2 HDR is very close. Oh, interesting. That's, uh, that's oh, I should do, like, a comparison. I will say, just putting the regular Switch onto my monitor, and I was it's blurry almost. It's just crazy to see, like and I've said it before, but I always played through the M Classic, so it up-resed my Switch to 4K. So, when I just hook it up, without that, I'm just like, "Oh, that's yeah, that's not how I'm used to seeing it." Um, I think that's gonna do it. So, you guys are the best. Seriously, thank you for hanging out. Thanks for kinda looking back on this year. What a fun year in gaming. I'm super stoked for 2026 and all that it's gonna bring, and, especially the Virtual Boy just for Nate. And, and we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 9:30, AM for Nintendo News Daily. And, as always, guys, play it loud.